First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for building this important event dedicated to the digital sector in Central and Eastern Europe. I think it's really important for our region to participate to the debates taking place at European level. And of course, our voice needs to be heard on the most significant digital policies being debated and promoted at European level by the European Commission, but also here in the European Parliament. My name is Victor Negrescu. I'm a member of the European Parliament, an active one on digital issues. I have initiated many projects and actions related to the promotion of the digital sector, in particular from our region. So therefore, I understand why it is important to create this link between our region and what is happening in Brussels on digital matters. Currently at European level, there are many things going on with regards to the digital sector. We recently got approved the Digital Single Act and the Digital Market Act related to the digital sector, of course, two important policies that enable us to construct a common European digital market. In the same time, we work on different initiatives, like for instance, the CHIPS Act, but also the data legislation that will define how things are supposed to happen at European level on those two important layers. In the same time, there is a proposal that the Commission is currently building with regard to connectivity and the respective infrastructure in trying to build a common framework at European level, a level playing field, allowing further investment in the development of infrastructure, but also in the same time maintain and why not improve the quality of access to different forms of connectivity. Of course, those different regulations represent challenges that sometimes are hard to be met by smaller companies, especially smaller companies coming from our region that do not have the capital to apply the respective regulation. That is why here in the European Parliament we always try to balance the text in saying that SMEs should be protected to a certain extent, in saying that further regulation should be applied to the big players, while in the same time allowing a constructive interaction between the big investors and the innovators from the local level, also from our region. We need to have and identify the balanced approach that will enable, of course, the digital sector in Europe to develop further, while in the same time have things being created here in Europe in the digital sector. So of course, in Eastern Europe, we are lucky enough to have a strong digital infrastructure because the connectivity infrastructure has been developed and built quite recently in comparison to what has happened in the west of Europe. But despite this fact, despite the fact that for a couple of years we were moving a little bit faster than the rest of Europe, now we are facing a difficult challenge. We need to implement 5G. We also know some are speaking even about 6G. Those types of investments require resources, require capital, require a strong partnership with the industry, with the communication sector, with the digital sector. In the same time, we have to make sure that the beneficiaries of the connectivity, meaning citizens, still continue to have access at the lowest cost possible to those different infrastructures, having access to their mobile phones, having access to the internet at a low cost, as they did in the last couple of years. So of course, we don't have a perfect model. But what is clear is that your debate today is really important to try to identify the messages coming from our region for the rest of Europe, promoting our model or describing it, defining it better, and why not trying to implement it across Europe. Because I believe that we have to continue to promote innovation. We have to speed up the process. We have to have an inclusive process. We have to make sure that the digital transformation is not leaving anyone behind, while in the same time it is happening. Because unfortunately, if we look at data, we see that Europe is divided between those that are lucky enough to have access and really understand the added value of technology, and many European citizens that have difficulties in adapting or understanding the technology and how it works. So we need an inclusive model. And of course, in this regard, building cohesion with regards to digital aspects is essential. Digital cohesion, I think, is the right step and the new step that our region should pursue, also when defining European legislation in the field. And of course, if we refer to the future European policies in the field, to the Digital Europe program, to the recovery plans, to the cohesion policies, we have to have a strong cohesion part in those respective policies and programs. But this is up to you to discuss, because I think it's not for us, decision makers, to tell you what to do. But what we certainly need is to have inputs coming from you and coming from regional level. Here in Brussels, we meet with so many people. We have so many stakeholders coming to meetings, trying to come to our offices to interact with us. And I would like to see more players coming from our region. So my call to you is to define the process, identify your different perspectives on the different policies, and write to MEPs, try to meet them, come with your inputs, because we need that here in order to have a broader European perspective on digital policies. Thank you again for inviting me and allowing me to send you this video message. I'm certain your debates are going to be really constructive, so I'm waiting for you to send me your feedback, your inputs on those respective topics. Good luck and have a nice summit dedicated to Central and Eastern Europe and digital matters.